Hey guys, welcome to Podiatry Practice Mastery. I want to go over this week an interview that I did with Brett Rybotsky, a deep dive into patient education genius. I was talking to a doctor recently. He's not using it, and it's really just made life a lot easier. I'll kind of walk you through and maybe why you should consider this if you have an EMR. And then so a little bit more on regenerative medicine. This is a follow-up on an interview with Dr. Hecker that I did, which is some of my highlights or insights or some new resources. And all these I'm going to be putting on in this membership site, Podiatry Practice Mastery. So let's get into it. So with Brett, Brett is retired, but he has a kind of a really neat, keen marketing mind. And so the interview that I put out this week, he gave some interesting ideas. One of them was he recommended having an actual other doctor, like a specialist or someone else, send out a letter to all of their patients about you. I thought that was kind of a neat way of doing it. And he talks about that. He talks about a lot of other ideas in this interview. So I would recommend you listening to that. If you go to podiatry.com, you can watch the videos. I don't think as many people like to watch videos these days. And so it also is on the podcast, and I'll show you where you can get that as well. Let me go a little bit into this thing called patient education genius. Okay, this is the user kind of the lay of the land when you get in here. So how do you do this? Basically, you're in your medical record, and I pick on one of my patients, patient, and then it pulls this thing up, and then I select the information. You can see here on the outside are all the treatment things that I treat. So it has stuff on Achilles tendonitis, plantar fasciitis, other types of things, and they kind of pop up, and then I can choose what I want to send them. What I choose, it highlights, okay? And then there's a button up here that has the send button. And then when I send it to them, it can either send it to them via email or via text message. And it's nice because it's one way, meaning they can't send anything back to me. Okay, that's the nice thing. Now, the benefit isn't just sending information. You can send PDFs, you can send videos, you can send links to other websites, you can send anything you want. You can organize it however you want, and they really help you with this. And then they get an email or a text message that looks something like this. It has your mugshot here, and it says you have 2 health education materials. You click that, and then you have these 2 things that they can click. Now, underneath here, there's a couple of other things that you can share other information, but the real benefit isn't only the information that you're sending them. The real benefit is this little chat bot. I know this might seem innocuous, but it says, thank you for being a patient at Central Mass Podiatry. Your feedback is important. Did you have a positive experience? This chatbot, if they say yes, then it'll ask them, and it'll go to Google to get a Google review. And that's how we consistently get Google reviews, because every time every patient comes in, we're sending them information, and then we're also asking them for a Google review. So I would recommend you considering, Patient Education Genius. I don't earn anything from them. I just think it's a great program, and it links into like Epic, it links into Athena, it links into anything. And I think it's maybe $100 a month or something like that. But for what it does in terms of reviews, it's more than worth it. Here is just a slide from Dr. Hecker's lecture that he did. This is kind of an interesting idea. This is something called an over-the-counter high defender. These are kind of like basically an AFO. It looks very similar to like a balance brace. And this can be used to help with stability during the recovery of a lot of tendon issues like peroneal tendonitis, Achilles tendonitis, plantar fasciitis, to reduce the load going through the foot and put it more in the lower leg. This was kind of an interesting idea. I don't use these non-custom AFOs very often, so I thought it was kind of a neat idea, and he talks about this in this lecture, and I'll show you where you can watch the whole thing. And here are the 0G or the custom high defender. These are just other ones that can be custom made. So let's kind of go into that now. Next, I want to kind of show you, actually, let me just show you this thing first. So this is, I'll put a link here underneath it. This is a spotlight on regenerative medicine. And there's a couple of intros from other doctors, but Tom Hecker, who I did an interview with, he really goes in deep about the regenerative medicine, kind of the techniques that he used, the braces that he used, his idea on stabilization and things like that. It was kind of a nice view. I think this is a free webinar. The reason it's free is because they're probably going to try to sell you these exosome things in there, which would kind of like their idea of amnio, right? Or regenerative medicine. So you can kind of look at that. I thought that was neat. Also on this same spotlight is called Go-To Stage. I think this is the go-to meeting, but it's like where you can register for them afterwards. I'll put these in the Podiatry Practice Mastery section as well. There's also a great one on Shockwave with amyl Saxena. You can once again do this. This is very similar. This would be a non-educational one, so they're probably trying to push Curemetics, which is a great one, but it can be found at Boston BioLife. And I'll put the links here. That's what I was going to show you. Here's Jim's headshot, but I'm putting this information here. I'm going to add amyls right here under these other interviews that I did. And there's the Curemetics resources on Shockwave. And I'm going to make another one on regenerative medicine. Okay. And I'll put those videos. So if you want links to them, you can't remember where they're at, they're all going to be in here. And so here is all kind of the resources in this Podiatry Practice Mastery thing, kind of almost like a virtual junk drawer where we store everything in there. Okay. So please kind of work through this. If you have any ideas how to make this more accessible, I think it's a little overwhelming. I'm thinking about doing it kind of in a drop sequence, meaning you have one open up per week, because I think it's a little overwhelming. Once again, if you guys want to chat about it in their strategy sessions and things like this. And then the last thing is, for those that don't like to watch the videos, there is a podcast. So if you go here and you click podcast, you can look at all the interviews. This is the $1 Million Marketing Secrets with Brett that I did. And then if you want to just subscribe, you just click these little buttons up top and you can subscribe to it. So I got some feedback from a doctor the other day saying that these were beneficial. I appreciate the feedback because it's kind of like working in a vacuum here. I don't know what people are liking or what they're not liking, but I've been having fun doing it. So hope you guys are enjoying some of the content here. Okay, that's enough for today. Thanks.